Folks, it's another episode. All right, folks, it's another episode of America's Hometown Horror. My name is Mike. Thanks for joining us back for another episode of the show. How's everybody?
Is that English?
I messed up. You know what happened. You know what happens now.
Did you do that on purpose?
When the perfection is not reached, right? Oh my God. But we'll get to that
I'll bring you back real quick and show you
later on in the episode. Anyway, good evening, and we have a jam-packed episode tonight, so why don't we jump right the fuck in. Here's where you can find us online. First place is ahpod.com, ahhpod.com. You're going to want to pay attention to that website in the coming weeks, as there's going to be more content coming your way from us on that website. That's ahpod.com. You can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd. Just search for America's Hometown Horror. You will find us right on there. You can also email us if you have some feedback about the show at hometownhorrorpodcast.com. Also want to mention our partners in crime, first of which is Horror Facts Magazine. You can find them at horrorfacts.com. A great resource for any horror fan for news, reviews, editorials, and all sorts of horror podcasts, including our show, America's Hometown Horror. Last but certainly not least, I'd be remiss if I did not mention Fangoria, the first name in fright since 1979. Just head on over to shop.fangoria.com/hometownhorrorpod. You can follow the link in our show description for a direct link. Or you can just use the code HometownHorrorPod at checkout for an exclusive 20% discount on all merchandise and first-time magazine subscriptions. We're very happy to be partnered with Fangoria. And last but certainly, if you want to support our show directly, if you want to give us some love, head on over to inebriart.com, go to their events page, and go to October 28th, the year of our Lord, 2023, and buy some tickets to the Hometown Haunts and Hops Horror Convention, which we are exclusively involved in. Along with over at Inebriart, thank you. But yeah, the Hometown Haunts and Hops Convention. Head on over and buy some tickets at Mayflower Brewing Company on October 28th, 2023. You will see us there amongst other people. Anyway, guys, again, my name is Mike. I am joined by my fellow co-hosts, Andrew, Kat, Matt, Lady, Gentleman, Ha! How's it going?
What up? What's up, buddy?
Good evening.
What's crapping?
What's happening? What's crapping? What's going on
for
sharts and
gargling?
Sharts and gargling?
Sharts and gargs.
That's going down in the books. Like
Yeah,
that
is
Hall of Fame right there, my
That's
friend.
yeah.
Absolutely
I'm
going down in the books. Yeah, that was honestly one of the...
That should be a t-shirt, Sharts and Gargles.
I think one of the best things that we've organically come up with on the podcast.
We could just wear these t-shirts. Just no one has to know what it is.
Yeah, no.
What's that?
What
then
the
that's
fuck?
how you. That's like any. What's the thing? Any.
It should be like in like.
It
should just be.
It's like the ALD. What was it? ALCS? No, not ALS. The ALS. The Ice Bucket Challenge.
My
This
goodness.
is how you bring a name to something that's important to you. Granted, this is not nearly as important as these things trying to fight diseases.
Yeah.
Sharts and gargles might be in the urban
But
dictionary
Sharts and
one.
Gargles
Maybe. Yeah.
is just as important as most things. I mean,
We just need a
I'm
T-shirt
impressed.
that's like in like the Got Milk font, all lowercase, that just says Sharts and Gargles
Sharts
on
and then
front,
the back
with
just
nothing else.
The back is just a Home Depot bucket overflowing with shit. That would be kind of
next to like a mouthwash bottle next to it.
Certainly seems like you're piggybacking off of your Wilford the Shit idea.
Well, when you get one good idea, you got to just roll with it. So
Fair enough.
What size t-shirt? Because I can make you one.
Yeah, XL. Yeah.
I feel like the shirt should be orange with everything else black or
Guys, by the way,
to shit.
happy Renfield and the Pope's Exorcist week, by the way.
Yep.
I, for one, could not be more excited to see Renfield. Although I will say the reviews are not that great. You guys seen this?
Everyone
this,
shits
this
on
is
Nick
the type
Cage
of the movie
movies.
that is most likely going to be shit on. I don't care about that. I
you
liked Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Did you look at any of the stuff in the Fangoria issue?
Not yet. I still have
Dude,
not looked at it.
There's a really good behind the scenes thing of Renfield, and it's fucking. I was like kind of like whatever, like I'll see it, but I wasn't really like really stoked for it until I read that. Then I was like, this movie's gonna be fucking tits.
Yeah, I'm into it. I can't wait. I think just Nicolas Cage playing Dracula is going to be an awesome thing.
Yeah.
And I think there's just, if you watch the trailers, there's one thing where I've been called, blah, 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 ooh, the Merchant of Death, ooh, 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 ooh. And he like does that. I fucking cackled laughing. Just, it's seeing Nicolas Cage as Dracula, and then there's also the scene where Renfield in the trailer like opens up a window and he gets burned by the sunlight, and it just shows him burned corpse essentially. It just looks awesome. So
I think some of the best parts of that movie are going to Renfield's character in like.
Yeah, you're a big Nicholas Hoult guy. Yeah,
no, I think he's just a better. I mean, he's a better actor.
Okay, fair enough. Fine. So yeah, but Renfield and the Pope's Exorcist, which is starring Russell Crowe.
I feel like that movie's
making movies, fighting around the world.
Yeah, dude. When I saw that, I was like, "What does he just get hammered and beat the shit out of everything?"
So my sister,
I still think that you haven't seen it. I know you haven't seen it. I mentioned this movie, and I don't know if you've seen it, but if you haven't seen Unhinged with Russell Crowe, I fucking love that.
Haven't seen it.
That movie is wild.
I haven't seen it, but I guarantee I could fucking write the plot out.
Yeah, you probably could, but
like,
you also at the same point in time, like Hobo with the Shotgun, you would love it. It's not as comic, but it's just as...
Is it as
It's
Canadian?
Russell Crowe just being like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Like,
Yeah.
He's out of his mind. It's so good. That movie's unhinged.
So my sister actually texted me about The Pope's Exorcist, and she hates horror, and she was like, have you seen the trailer for this movie, The Pope's Exorcist? I was like, I have not paid into it. And she said it looks really, really... take that for what you will.
It looks scary.
Still haven't seen the trailer. Still have no interest in seeing the movie, unless it... I mean, hey...
Not
Smile surprised us last year.
That's true.
Maybe this movie will surprise
Pretty
us.
sure the Catholic Church disapproves.
I don't really
Just
care
a guess.
about
No,
the
I know.
Catholic
I'm
Church
just-
disapproving.
It's a joke.
Yeah, absolutely.
More
right.
reason to watch it.
Anyway, so yeah, you can see Renfield and the Pope's Exorcist both this week in theaters. Also, not in theaters, you can see Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which is now available to rent
Oh, it's already streaming?
on streaming.
You're like a
Something's
trash
coming to
bag.
Peacock on Friday too. I fucking forget what it.
I'm not which one.
Isn't Evil Dead Rise like a week away?
No. Yes,
next week.
Friday.
Yep,
Yeah.
next week we have Evil Dead Rise.
Are we gonna go?
And I think there's one more.
I hate that you can...
Oh, Beau is Not Afraid as well, but we'll get to that next week.
Yeah, that's a 3-hour movie. That's
I
gonna
hate
be.
when movies go on streaming, but you have to... Like, I already paid for the streaming service, and then I have to pay to watch this as
Well,
well.
again, but you would pay $20 for two people to go see a movie in theaters, so you might as well pay $20 to see it
But I'm
at
already
home.
paying for the
And
streaming
also, it's
service.
a giant screen with surround sound.
Right, much different.
In a
much
big, comfy chair.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying like, this is what the
I agree with
mindset
Kat.
of
It is
the studios.
fucking horseshit.
Then-
Well,
Just
it's
don't
also like
release it.
$10 to rent.
It's cheaper because I spend $30 on snacks.
Well, that's also true.
And granted, that's
Red
a person.
Slurpees
That's a personal
gummy
problem.
worms.
So I need to work on that. Like you could just get like they have like those deals where it's like $19.99 for unlimited.
Right.
Yeah, which I mean you can do for the movie theater. Regal Cinemas offers that, which is.
But you got to have like
Kingston.
plenty of time.
Yeah.
Did
well,
you-
you have to see like I think 4 or 5 movies a month to count.
No,
you know?
2.
3. Maybe.
Yeah, because it's like $12 for a movie ticket.
That's actually.
Did you guys watch the Talk to Me trailer?
I still did not watch it. I'm
It
so
looks
sorry.
good, dude.
Okay.
It's Australian too, which is cool.
Australian.
Australian.
Like,
Australian.
talk to me.
Full beat.
like you
I watched
used to.
the first
Very good, right?
30 seconds,
Analytics? Oh,
and then
good.
the phone rang at work. I'm getting to that. So, by the way, guys, just so you know, as the streaming services that we currently have continue to evolve, apparently HBO Max, as of a certain date, is going to be no more. Just going to be
I
called
did that, actually.
Max.
Ooh.
As HBO Max
So it's
combines
Max, now it's just
with
Max.
Discovery Plus. So you're going to have Discovery Plus mixed with HBO Max. So it's going to be all one streaming platform.
Is it gonna
probably
cost more?
for a higher price,
Probably.
I would assume. But we did get with that announcement a lot of cool announcements about some things that are coming from HBO and Warner Brothers. First of which, we got some teaser trailers for True Detective Night Cut, which is going to be starring Jodie Foster. These trailers dropped today.
Jodie
by
Foster.
the way. It looks awesome.
Or it does.
It
Jodie
it
Foster's
takes
great.
place in Alaska, in a almost like a 30 days of night type scenario where it's like dark for a certain number of days. I'm seeing some spirals, like in season 1. I saw at least one in the trailer, so we got that coming out. No release date yet, just says it's coming this year. We also got a teaser trailer for the Penguin series, starring our favorite Irish actor, Colin Farrell. Catherine?
I love him.
Yep. Academy Award nominated actor Colin Farrell. That looks really good because the Batman was fucking awesome. We also got some news that Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai, which is going to be an animated series sequel to Gremlins, is going to be coming on May 25th. So that's coming in less than a month or
That's
a
awesome.
month. We also got some news that Welcome to Derry, the It prequel series, is going to be No. Not Welcome to Derry, girls. No. Welcome to Derry, Maine. The location of it is coming in 2024 in production currently. And last but certainly not least, which I think I'm the least interested in this, is that we are getting a series based on The Conjuring in development right now. Yeah, right? How much more Conjuring can... They're going to really milk that till it's dry. It's unbelievable.
I have no interest in that.
I will say the side note, the Peacock movie this Friday, Cocaine Bear.
Oh, that's what it was.
So
yes.
I will be watching that
I will
this
be watching
weekend.
that.
So
too.
already seen it.
Okay.
It's awesome.
We rented that.
It's
How many
great.
weeks ago?
3
3
weeks.
weeks ago?
Okay,
So you get
now
to watch it 3
now
weeks?
to be
Oh, you have to
free.
wait 3
I
weeks?
Pay for it. I mean,
You got.
so
You got.
You got.
Well,
so stupid.
you didn't
Certain
get got.
movies I would 100%
I
pay.
got.
You got.
I paid the $20 for it, and I was really excited to see
Was it worth
And it was
the
awesome.
$20?
It was great.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, you guys are going to love it.
I'm a
so.
cheap ass. I don't know if I paid $20 to rent a
Just
movie.
like don't
I
get
wouldn't
gas
Okay,
that
but
week.
the last time you paid $20 for a movie is when you went to go see 65, and you went to the movies and paid $20.
I agree with Andrew. Going to the movies and paying for that is a much different experience than
It's more
paying for it
enjoyable.
on
I'm
your
actually going to
TV.
watch the movie. I'm going to sit there in a nice comfy chair, watch it, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to fall asleep on the couch. I'm going to actually watch a movie.
I digest
Fair
a
enough.
movie in the theaters
Way
unlike any other.
more.
Yeah.
Like if I want to see a movie, it's in. If I watch it on my couch, I'm going to be distracted by my phone. I don't go on my phone. My phone's off in my pocket. At home, you're like, man, my fantasy team is. Like,
That is true. That is true.
Now the baseball's back on. It's been
Yeah, right. Oh,
Distracting.
man, it's been, like constant. Last little piece of news before we get into our watch lists. Guys, could I interest you in season 12 of American Horror Story,
You sure
which is
can't.
subtitled Delicate, which is going to be starring Kim Kardashian?
even more reason
I
not
say
to watch.
no.
Emma
to you.
Roberts is in it too, though, right?
Emma Roberts.
doesn't
and
happen to
she's
be
at least hot,
doesn't happen to be a
so.
snuff thing, does it?
It's not a
Emma
porno
Roberts
film
is
or a
hot.
snuff
I like
film.
Yeah, Emma Roberts greater than Kim Kardashian. Agreed?
Yeah, of
or
course.
disagree?
Why would anyone
No.
think?
Yeah,
Dis-
obviously you
disagree.
wouldn't because you're like she has a huge ass. Like
You
Emma
mean
Roberts is
you
a
like
much
Kim Kardashian
Also, it's all
better than Emma Roberts?
it's all fake, so it doesn't really matter.
So, yeah, so no.
I
So
guess
false.
yes.
Full
Emma
pudding.
Roberts,
better looking, greater than.
greater than
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian. Yes.
It's the
yes.
Pac-Man
The
alligator
Pac-
mouth.
eating the dots.
Kat, what about you? Any interest in an American Horror Story season starring Kim Kardashian, subtitled Delicate,
Pass.
which is the new one that's going to be coming up this summer?
No.
Okay. And
Skip.
also
We're
we have
skipping that.
we haven't
Kim
finished.
Kardashian?
Wouldn't it be funny
Yeah.
if it was just reruns of Keeping Up with the Kardashians?
Imagine that.
Kim Kardashian, delicate.
Man, it wouldn't be
You know what it
surprised.
should be called? Kanye West, rough. In your fucking baho. Like, no one needs to.
In your pooper.
In your fucking pooper
Right in the
schmooper.
stink hole.
Kardashian and delicate don't mix.
That's also. It's funny too because Ryan Murphy, I feel like when he did American Crime Story, the OJ season, was not very kind to the Kardashian.
Oh, is that the one?
So it's interesting to see that
Ron
Kim
is
Kardashian.
dead. Is that one?
Yeah, David Schwimmer playing Robert Kardashian.
Ron is
Yeah.
dead.
Yeah. Juice.
Fucking terrible. That's terrible.
Anyway,
That's a terrible
that's what I
show.
got for a little news, but some fun stuff. So yeah, Penguin, True Detective, Night Country, Gremlin, Secrets of the Mogwai, Welcome to Derry, and the Conjuring series, along with American Horror Story.
Mike, it's
Season 12.
it's your 3-month reminder. There's also a show. I think it's on Amazon Prime called Fortitude that I think you would really like.
Yes, with Dennis Quaid.
Yeah, I
about
think you should
worms.
watch it.
Yes.
It also has a lot of
Okay,
that
fair
show. Whatever.
enough.
Shut up, Mike. Better than
I'm always looking for a new show.
better
to
than
watch.
American Horror Story 13. You
Fair
could just
enough.
watch that. Instead.
That's fine.
So,
all right, so why
let's
don't we
try
talk
that.
about watch list stuff real quick? So, Andrew, I know that you have not seen the latest episode of Yellowjackets.
I've seen some horror shows, and it's the Red Sox losing terribly.
Yes,
but
that is a horror thing. Yes, Matt, I'll take one as well. Matt, Kat, how far do you think we can go into talking about Yellowjackets episode 3 without spoiling it for Andrew?
I mean,
Overall thoughts, I guess.
Also, in due fairness, with
Kat
a
was
TV
on her phone the whole
with
time,
a TV
so I don't
show,
know if she can...
you can feel free. I'm the oddball out. I didn't watch this week. Shame on me. Spoil away. It will not affect me. I will
We're not-
just turn my
we're not
brain
going
on.
to.
No.
No,
you
we're not
can.
going to.
No, don't because
We can just
not.
skip it.
Don't
No,
do it
I
for me.
refuse to spoil it for you.
I don't want to spoil it.
I mean, was there really like it was
There
kind of
wasn't
a,
any-
it was kind
I
of
think
a story-driven episode.
Yeah.
What I would say is that I feel like this episode kind of delves into the supernatural
Yeah,
much more.
Yes.
at the end, yeah,
Yep, there's a lot going on here.
a lot of hallucinations.
Yeah, a lot of weird stuff going on.
Another
so
theme.
I would say for you particularly, Andrew, and knowing your tastes and what you like, I think this is something that you're going to like. So I'm not going to spoil it for you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. So you should watch it as soon as you can.
It felt like it was a quick episode for like
Even
there
though-
not being
yeah.
like. A
Well, they always
crazy
have like
amount of
almost like
action.
46 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Probably. That's
They're
my
all
guess,
they're always under an hour. I mean, I feel like that combined with the episode combined with like the preview for next week and the behind the episode thing is less than an hour.
Okay, so they're not doing like the Last of Us movie where they just had like an hour and 26 minutes.
No, but I'm not. I wasn't complaining about that either.
No, I'm not
That
saying I'm
was great.
complaining about that, but sometimes you get that random long episode. You're like, this is a fucking movie.
Yeah.
Well, it's okay. I will not spoil it for you
It's okay.
since I care for you as a friend.
I care for you, Lee.
You apparently don't care for me. You called me a fat, balding, tiny penis person last week, which I did not forget about, by the way.
Well,
And,
sometimes the nose knows.
the nose knows. Excellent.
I have
Okay.
a big nose.
Yeah, so guys, again, Yellowjackets, keep watching it if you haven't, and maybe when Andrew catches up next week. Anybody
buddy.
watch any? I don't have really too much in terms of what I've watched over the last week. I have a couple quick things, but not necessarily super horror related. Kat, Andrew,
I have
have
a
some,
terrible
yeah.
movie I watched. I'm going to give it 5 seconds, and I only bring it up because you mentioned Nick World Trade.
Oh God, yes, I can't. Oh yeah,
What an awful
that's
movie.
a bad movie. Yeah, bad.
It's in
Gotta
bad,
be-
it's in very poor taste.
Gotta
Didn't
be
that come out in like 2003?
It was like 2005.
Yeah.
And I was
Also-
like, this movie is in poor taste.
Can we-
They're making jokes about
Listen.
the plane saying that. I'm like, this is poor taste.
Can we talk about
for
the
a
fact
movie
that this movie was made by Oliver Stone,
Yeah,
who
what an-
directed JFK?
I have
Is
an
that
Oliver Stone movie on my
Wild?
list.
Is that wild that Oliver Stone made this movie about World Trade Center? And it's just
and
a
it's
fucking
so bad.
yeah. Oh my God, it is a
They,
bad.
it does a
bad movie.
disservice. Like if I was any way connected in 9/11 as a victim, a terrorist, but as a victim, I thought
you.
maybe
I don't
it
think-
might
thank
be
you for clarifying. I don't
in
think
my
anyone
mind, I
was
was like,
seeing that
this
as a
may
fork
be
in the road.
misconstrued because they're like Andrew, that's psychopath.
I've always
but
thought of you as a terrorist
I would be
myself.
I would be highly offended by this movie. It is a very offensive movie in very small ways, and it's just. This is one of those movies that it's way too soon. Like,
pretty
if you
sure it
made this
got
movie,
chewed up
if you
when it
made this
got-
movie in
when it was
2023, 20 years after, or 22 years after, sure. But to make this movie 4 years after, and to have the worst jokes by the people that are supposed to be like saving everyone, I'm
heroes.
like, ugh. I'm like, this is so bad. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, so I would compare it to, and obviously, like the Boston Marathon bombing was a much smaller scale disaster, not even comparable to 9/11. Okay, first and foremost, up front, this movie is comparable to the Mark Wahlberg,
Oh
Alec
my
Berg,
God, that's
Peter
such
Berg reach around that is fucking whatever the fuck that movie was called.
Yeah, that was a straight
Patriots.
up.
Again,
that was a money
fuck
grab.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg's a piece of shit, and that's a money grab.
The
You listened
only,
to Stop and
the
Shop with
only,
Lindsay the other day?
I know, I
the
saw that.
only redeeming
Bag
quality
groceries?
about that movie, and I don't know how they got him to do Trent Reznor, Chris Ross do the score, which fantastic every time they
did?
do music. I can't believe it. But like, what are you doing? What are you doing? That's like, dude, fucking Jesus
Why you
Christ.
like? Also, has there ever been another movie made after what happened at the World Trade Center, other than a documentary?
I mean, there was like
United
There was
93.
which that movie.
Okay,
is
so
fucking
that's actually
terrifying.
That's
a
awful.
very
That was
good
a
movie,
heavy movie.
because that's a strong story, and they actually use like live telephone
Yeah.
conversations in it. But
That was a hard
that's not
watch.
that
Those,
doesn't have
both those
anything to
movies
do
I
with
feel like came out like the
the same time. But
yeah.
United 93 was way better, way well done. I mean, if Mark Wahlberg was in that plane, it would never have
shit would've gone
crashed.
down
He would have
differently,
flown
right?
it
Yeah, he
himself.
would've- Yeah, he would have.
Speaking of piece of shit.
Imagine, yeah, Mark Wahlberg, by the way, piece of shit. Yeah,
It is funny. Kat just mentioned that he like posted a thing that he was like outside of a Stop and Shop in Quincy that he used to bag groceries at. Guy's like a movie star millionaire, and he still dresses like some like Boston fucking rear pillhead. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just think that's fucking hilarious.
the worst.
so.
Just the worst.
And also, like, if you're 16 years old, obviously you probably worked at a grocery store.
Yeah, I
like,
did.
what do you think? You're fucking special? I worked at the meat
I
market.
worked at Sudbury Farms in Randolph. Congratulations to you, Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah. Oh, you're real cool now.
When did you beat the shit out of that Vietnamese guy? Before or after you were bagging groceries? Let me ask you that. Hey, if we take Mark Wahlberg down this, I'll be fucking.
This new episode is called
Not
Mark
for
Wahlberg,
cancer.
A
Not for
Story
cancer.
as a-
Mark
Yeah,
Wahlberg
fuck him.
Part 4.
What it's like
Yeah.
to be a piece of shit, Mark Wahlberg. Fuck that guy. I hope that everyone hates him.
It just annoys me so much, like how everybody is just like, yeah, oh, they're the greatest family. Yeah, who the Wahlburgers, the burgers. They
Burgers
make
fucking suck.
cheeseburgers, and they have almanove, and anyway.
They're kind
I
of
like
Boston
Wahlberg.
douchebags.
Anyway, yeah, I know. Yep. I know. Anyway, so
I like
we were talking about. Okay, so you watched World Trade Center, right? So we were going to you. Anything else besides World Trade Center?
No, that movie's...
Which Oliver Stone, what are you doing?
Yeah, I put it
You
on.
made
I put it
Natural
on
Born
to
Killers.
fall
You made
asleep because I was
JFK.
like, this
What are you
movie's
doing?
probably depressing. Then I watched it and I was like, this is the most undepressing, horrible movie I've ever watched. That is just so mean and just... It's so...
Yeah, it's.
I mean, this is when Nicolas Cage was at his worst at. He
Cashing
sucks
in.
so bad.
Cashing in. Okay.
Yeah, don't watch that horrible movie. I watched it because I knew it was
JFK?
horrible. So. No, JFK, I like. This movie, World Trade Center.
Oh,
It's very,
I haven't seen
it's
that.
very subtle in the
I don't
name.
wanna-
World
Yeah,
Trade
It's
Center.
grand. It's grand. Miss Catherine, anything you want to report on that you watched over the last week? Okay. Wow.
And Love is Blind, you know.
Love is Blind.
That's
Okay.
my priority to finish that. That's
Mr.
literally my goal.
Mr.
So.
Matthew, anything you want to talk about? I'm sure you have a few things besides the Red Sox you want to talk
Yeah, I
about.
have a lot of stuff. So,
Okay, go for it.
gearing up for the blog series that I'm doing, I'm diving into a lot of real movies.
Let's say, do you want to give us a preview of what you're going to be writing about?
Yeah,
we
so-
can do that. Yeah.
I'm going to do, I don't know if it'll be once a month or like every few weeks, at least once a month. But basically, I'm going to go into reviewing just the real extreme heavy hit. Some more than others. It's kind of a pretty broad categorization, but I'm going to get into the nitty-gritties. This, that, and the other thing, categories and fucking directors and all their filmographies and stuff. So I wrote up the little introduction piece today, which I sent over to you.
Yep. you did.
So we'll get that up there soon. But yeah, so I listened to a podcast the other day from Speak All Evil from Portland, and
Yes, that's right.
they did Cannibal Holocaust, and for the rest of the day I had the score of the movie stuck in my head with incredibly well done score. So I was whistling that all day. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go home and watch Cannibal Holocaust.
That's crazy.
And then
You said it's a couple times a year. You just have to watch it.
yeah, well, more so recently since I bought it on the Blu-ray. And so I watched it again, and yeah, it's just still... But I have, like, a different appreciation, because I was watching it, not for the shock value, but just to kind of, like, take in the way it was made. And it really is a fucking well-made movie.
I feel like that's a different way of looking at it for sure.
Yeah.
When you're not, like, looking at it like, my God, what's happening?
Yeah, you get over the shock
Okay,
value
this is
of it
actually,
all.
like, you know,
Yeah,
XYZ
in
happening.
terms of the actual movie itself and, like, the story and the found footage aspect, it's the best found footage movie ever. I will be on record to say that.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway, so I watched that, and that kind of... So I got the wheels turning, and I'm going to have to go back and watch a lot of the movies I've already watched recently. I'm going to watch Audition again, Irreversible, yada, yada, yada. So I watched Cannibal Holocaust. Still brutal, but yeah, I just kind of took a different angle to watch it. I watched Natural Born Killers, speaking of Oliver Stone. So I watched that before I watched Cannibal Holocaust. This was on Easter, by the way. I watched both of these movies. So, yeah, Natural Born Killers is fucking crazy.
Can we? I don't mean to steal your thunder if you're going to bring this up, but you mentioned this. You threw it out in the group text. Can we talk about Rodney Dangerfield?
I was just
in
yeah.
Natural Born Killers.
Holy
My
fuck,
God.
man!
Unbelievable.
That is a horrifically disgusting and diabolical fucking character.
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
Like I think what
You guys have seen this movie, right?
Yes, I've seen it once, and it was a long time ago.
It's on HBO Max right now.
I'll watch it again.
Yeah.
We
It's a fucking
weird,
crazy
fucking
movie.
wild movie.
But dude, the fact that they like have so basically like it's Woody Harrelson and Juliette Lewis, and they fall in love, and they're just fucking maniac serial killers who are being basically tailed by like exploitive media. And like it's just blowing violence is just and this is like 1994, so it's like there's just violence is taking over television and so the beginning sequence is Juliette Lewis is like has to be a teenager, like 16, 17 years old.
Yeah, she's
that's
young.
how old her character is, and her dad's Rodney Dangerfield, and he is just so physically, sexually abusive, and it is fucking gross.
Ugh.
But it's all played over as if it was like a 70s. So
Yeah.
there's like a laugh track, and like there's like jokes, and
Oh,
it's just like,
God.
dude, it is fucked up. But it's just like, even without that, if it was played completely serious, it would still be fucking brutal.
I'll tell you, I don't get no respect.
Ugh, but it's just like, holy fucking shit. Like, and it really, really goes far. I've watched this movie a handful of times, and every time I watch it, I have this look on my,
Yeah.
absolutely tasteless fucking 15th of the movie.
Which I feel like you watch that movie and then you watch a movie like World Trade Center. How did the same film make these movies?
Yeah, I guess so.
And they're both scored by Trent
Yeah.
Reznor, which is wild.
And then, well, he also made fucking Scarface. Or am I think? I always for some reason I
no,
always
that
mix
was
up, was that Brian De Palma?
De Palma.
For some reason I mix up Oliver Stone and
I will
Brian De
find
Palma,
out.
and
Hold
I
on.
have no fucking idea why.
What's the other movie De Palma did? It was Once Upon a
Scarface
Time
was De Palma. Yep. I will tell
what was
you.
the other one he did?
Oliver Stone made something that I'm thinking of. Anyway, so yeah, Natural Born Killers is a wild movie. Very trippy, very like you could tell like where like Rob Zombie got inspiration in House of a Thousand Corpses.
Okay.
It's very like these random snippets of like weird fucking shit. The soundtrack is fucking so yeah, that's a bad. Next up, I watched, this is a new watch. I Saw the Devil, 2010 South Korean revenge, and this movie was fucking awesome. Dude, this movie kicked ass. It's long as shit. It's 2 hours and 12. It took 2 days for me to like get through. But man, this movie kicks fucking ass. It's about this guy, he's a secret agent in Korea, and his wife is killed, or his fiance is killed by this like maniac. And basically, it's just him setting out and finding this dude and just kicking the fucking shit out of him over and over again.
Awesome.
He like puts a tracking device in him the first time he sees him, and he just keeps hunting him down and fucking him up more. And so it gets kind of crazy as it goes on. There's some twists and turns, so I won't get too far into it. But man, dude, that movie was fucking great. It's on Hulu. Highly recommend.
I Saw the Devil.
Yeah. Very, very violent. Very, very violent.
What year did this come out?
2010.
Okay.
Check it out.
What else? I watched Tetsuo, the Iron Man, which Andrew, I think you'd really like this.
I feel like I
This
may have
movie's-
seen that movie. That name sounds. I feel like I've seen this movie.
I think
at
it's
some
on
point.
Shudder. This movie's an hour and 7 minutes long.
Oh shit.
This was like if David Lynch was like a Japanese guy and made this. It's basically about this guy who is being chased around by this woman who's turning into metal. And he ends up contracting whatever she has and turning into metal. Goes from there. So
Wow.
it's a real, but the way it's shot, it's all in black and white. It's very, very. I can't imagine that he isn't completely inspired by. Like when you watch it, it's fucking nuts. And like I said, it's an hour and.
Directed by David Lynch. Is that?
No, I forget the name. Off the top of my head, that it's like a really, really like long, extensive Japanese name. But I'm pretty sure he also did the movie Battle Royale, and like I got this like Arrow box set with like a bunch of his movies, and they're all fucking nuts. Yeah. So that was another one, and then I have. Sorry.
What else do I have? I know I have something.
Okay.
Nope. That was it.
Okay. Can I spit Brian De Palma's filmography at you real quick?
Yes.
All right. So let's start. Let's say forgive his. Not even forgive, but let's just say
Once
we
upon a
ignore
time in
his filmography starting
America,
in 1968. Let's just start with Carrie in 1976, okay?
Pretty.
Also have The Fury, Scarface in 1983, Body Double, The Untouchables,
Oh. love that movie.
Raising Cain, Carlito's Way, Mission Impossible, the first one.
Carlito's Way. That's the movie I was thinking
Yep,
of.
Carlito's
It's
Way.
a very underrated movie.
Mission to Mars, Femme Fatale, The Black Dahlia.
That's a great movie too.
And his most recent movie is 2019's Dominant. Also directed Dancing in the Dark by Bruce Springsteen, the music video. So, yeah, Brian De Palma.
that doesn't make me like
Big
him anymore.
Springsteen. Yeah.
Oliver Stone had Platoon, Wall Street, Born on the 4th of July. I don't know why. I always fucking think that he
He
directed
did
fucking
Platoon?
Scarface.
Oh, my God, yeah,
I didn't
absolutely.
realize he made Platoon. Yeah. That movie's
Dude,
awesome.
Oliver Stone has some absolute bangers. There's no doubt about it. It's just a matter of like which movies you like. So if we're gonna look at his filmography real quick, because I'll find it. Andrew stumbles over. Lots of controversy in Oliver Stone's life, by the way. So Oliver Stone wrote Scarface.
Okay.
Also
Okay.
wrote
I feel better now.
Conan the Barbarian.
Conan.
I'm not crazy.
Let's see.
Not
Wrote and
Conan.
directed. Wrote and directed Platoon. Wrote and directed Wall Street. Wrote and directed Born on the 4th of July, The Doors, JFK, Natural Born Killers, Nixon.
He stole Natural Born
U-turn.
Killers from Quentin Tarantino.
Yep. Any Given Sunday, Alexander, which was one of the most maligned movies of all time, starring Rosario Dawson and Colin Farrell.
That movie's
Colin Farrell.
terrible.
World Trade Center, W, which is a movie about George W.
with
Bush
Josh
with Josh
Brolin.
Brolin.
I love that movie.
Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps, and then his most two recent movies, Savages from 2012, which he wrote and directed, and then also Edward Snowden from 2016.
Oh,
wrote and directed that with
Snowden.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I believe.
Also,
Yes.
underrated movie. Wall Street's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Wall Street is great.
Michael Douglas.
Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps. No thanks. Shia
W,
LaBeouf.
great.
No thanks.
Wolves of Wall Street. 2 thumbs
Good.
up.
We like that.
The Wolf of Wall Street is one of the best movies ever made.
Yes.
I
on
prefer
record.
Little Red.
Oh,
It's my favorite.
Little red bro.
We said Wolves of Wall Street. It's not
Yeah, the
wolves.
wolves.
It's Wolf. of-
any other movies you want to talk about, Matt?
That's all I got.
Good? Okay. So everybody else went, right? Anyone
Yeah.
anything else?
Not much.
No.
So
less.
2 things for me. Obviously not horror related. First of which, just a great movie. If you're looking for a good movie to watch.
The Mummy.
Especially if you grew up in the 80s and the 90s. Yeah, The Mummy. Mummy, great.
Loser.
Adventureland, which is a movie that is fantastic. It's starring Jesse Eisenberg, Kristen Stewart, Ryan Reynolds, Bill Hader, Kristen Stewart,
seen that.
Kristen Wiig. Awesome movie. I just happened to watch it last week. Great. Also started replaying, not necessarily a horror game, but horror adjacent to a point where I feel like it's worth mentioning.
Plants vs. Zombies.
It's the 10-year anniversary of this. Yeah, Plants vs.
Banjo
10-year
versus
anniversary
Kazooie.
of this movie, of this game coming out, BioShock Infinite. If you followed the BioShock series at all, the first game is very much a horror game. This one, not so much, but it's a great game. There are some horror elements, so I started playing it recently. And so, are we ready to start talking about the
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
it's a perfect time to
Before
talk
we
about
start doing so, why don't we take a quick 90-second break for a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back to talk about the perfection soon.
It's official. The critics' decision is in.
Spooky World is spooktacular.
Enter the new black hole.
If you dare.
Or the new horror House of Wax. This year, don't miss the real Jason, Bobby Pickett, or Alice Cooper. Phone the 24-hour Spooky World hotline. 508-838-0200. That's 508-838-0200. Spooky World is just west of Boston and haunts every night from October 1st till November 1st. If you had the nerve, you'd phone 508-838-0200.
It's America's horror theme park. Spooky World.
Don't be scared. I'm the super sweet monster with the super sweet new cereal, Count Chocula.
Biffle, here's the super sweet new cereal, Frankenberry.
But I've got chocolate sweeties for monstrous chocolate flavor.
Well, I've got berry-flavored sweeties for monster strawberry flavor.
Count Chocula.
Frankenberry.
Hi.
Frankenberry.
Count Chocula.
Sleepy Clovers.
The new face of evil is going to scare you to death. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. It's killer this year. Then be next door to the Abington Ale House. Barrett's Haunted Mansion. Eat, drink, and be scary. Go to bhmansion.com.
And we're back. Guys, all right, The Perfection is certainly a movie that is certainly very, very intense and disturbing. I swore off using the word wild, so I'm going to use the word intense to describe this movie, because it's an intense movie. Very intense. Very intense. I also think this immediately is in the conversation for the horniest movie we ever talked. This movie has so much sex in it, it's unbelievable. It's
There's
like,
sex that's no one even wants in this movie.
within the first 20 minutes, there's so much like sex. I also saw, like, for me personally, I couldn't help but like watch this movie and think about other movies and other types of genre of like subgenre of horror, right? So like, for example, like I thought a lot about giallo movies, like extreme Japanese horror. So I'm thinking specifically about like movies like Suspiria, Audition,
Old Boy.
Yep,
Remind me of
movies
Black
like
Swan.
Old Boy, Black Swan is another good one. That's absolutely. And yeah, I just think this is a great movie. I know, Andrew, you picked that. I will give more thoughts as we go into it, but those are my particular kickoff. Andrew, talk to us about why you and what made you think about it.
So I thought this movie came out. Turns out it was.
Yeah, I mean, Jesus, it's
I
very
thought
recent.
it felt like it was like
Yeah.
5 years ago
I
that I
watched
watched this movie, and it must not have been that long ago. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie the first time I saw it, and this is the first time rewatching it, and I enjoyed it just as much. I feel like this is one of the few movies that came in at a very nice hour, which is a perfect
This
length
movie's fucking
for any
flew
movie.
by.
But
Absolutely flew.
I do feel that this movie would have been better served with about 15 extra minutes.
Disagree.
Because they go into certain things with just unabashed, just we're going in and we're going in fast. Where I feel like a few minutes of just lead up to those scenes, aside from what they already did, would have been better served. I love this movie. But a couple more minutes just to develop, like, because the movie goes from fucking 0 to 60 to fucking 50 to 130 to fucking 60 to 500 miles an hour. It's out of its fucking mind.
What did you say yesterday, Matt, on the group chat, that this takes a hard left turn at about an hour in, right? Like a very hard turn.
Yeah, I watched it today.
Yeah. Or today, yeah, sorry.
Felt like it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, because it like goes, it starts going in one direction, and I was like, what? I was like, this is not what I fucking thought this was going to be. And then all
Had
of a
you
sudden,
seen it before?
No.
Wow.
So I was like,
Okay.
I had no idea. I was like, what the fuck is this? And it kind of like went, and it goes in a completely different direction after that. And I was like, oh, okay, back home.
And then it goes in a different direction.
And then it goes in a very different direction after that, too.
It's so many different directions. It's very easy to get lost in this movie, but it's very
But
simple
the first little twist that happened, because I was like, this is ridiculous. Like,
no, this movie, I actually think this movie is
happening?
extremely ridiculous on so many different levels, and it just plays upon its own ridiculousness. It's a wild movie. It's very well acted. Not much thought, like you said, was put
the girl yelling
into
about like shitting her pants on the bus for fucking 5 minutes.
I can't
Like,
move.
there's
I'm going
blood
to shit.
Get her off the
I
fucking
can't
bus.
move. I'm going to shit. Which, I mean, honestly, God bless her. Like, she's like, I can't move, or I'm going to shit. Like, she knew she was going to shit if she moved. So, like, it's God
I
bless
thought
her.
the dialogue was, but the acting was phenomenal.
So, I want to bring a little bit more up about that in a little bit. But I first want to ask Catherine, because you are very well versed in classical music.
Well, not even that, but...
You are.
Well, yes,
Chopin?
I am.
What did you think of this movie?
I love this movie, but I can also relate to this on a lot of levels. Dancing, like,
you did
all
a lot of different...
They're very things that, like, you have to do perfect. So you have, like, play things, or sing, whatever. So the pressure to be perfect, I'm like, this is, like, a real thing for me. And I was like, oh, I resonate on the whole other... Like, obviously, but, like, there's certain people having things like that don't know the level of, like... Well, like, even, like, when I danced, like... I did paint for a while, and I don't have perfectly arched feet, so I would literally put pounds of books on my so that they would bend.
You would
more.
break your feet to be perfect.
Like,
seems about right.
So I mean, I'm like looking at this at a whole other level of like, correct.
I mean,
like,
if you think about it, like the equivalent of this movie would be like if a guy went to some school to be better at baseball or football or whatever, like a college scholarship to play football or baseball. The ultimate of that. Which you don't really see that perspective from a female a lot about like, so there's some guy telling me I need to be perfect at this. What does that actually mean? And then you see what it means to a certain extent, and then you really, which is a different conversation. Because obviously not every school that talented female musicians go to end up like that. But right, it's just like one of those things, it's insane to think about because as a guy who played, I guess, sports in high school, you can tell that certain people are like, all right, do this, you'll get there. But like, I never really ever thought about it from a female perspective.
If you're not getting the coaching, you're not good enough.
Right. And this is like the extreme type of coaching.
But then you even think of like recently
in
the
most
news.
extreme type of
In the news,
yeah,
with
no
all, like,
shit, Sherlock.
In the movie, is that what we're talking about?
But all like the gyms of like sexual assault and stuff like that's
the guy from Michigan State.
He was from Massachusetts, right? Like Allie Reisman. Well, Allie Reisman.
Well, yeah, she's
on the
she's
team.
from Newton
because that was on the Olympic team. That
Correct.
wasn't just Michigan.
Correct.
That was the
that was
Olympic.
Yeah, which is just disgusting.
Yeah,
it's gross.
But that's in the same realm.
Larry Nassar was.
That's the same realm of.
Very apt comparison. So one thing I wanted to bring up. So I know we haven't really necessarily got to everybody's opinions here, but I feel like this is worth bringing up. So Harvey Weinstein. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of like if you're familiar with the Harvey Weinstein story, there's a lot of parallels between his story and what happens. Harvey Weinstein owned the movie company Miramax. Miramax produces this movie. There are a lot of theories out there that this was Miramax, the production company, fired Harvey Weinstein, giving filmmakers authority to be like, hey, listen, you want to make a movie about this type of thing? Here you go. I think I see it to a certain extent. I mean, like, there's still a woman cutting off another woman's hand to get back at a guy. I feel like does that kind of miss the point of like the Me Too type of stuff? Or like, is that just, am I just going outside my depth here? Like, what do you think?
What? Say that again?
I see what he's saying. Well, if you're going to be subtle, you have to be subtle.
This is about as subtle as a sledgehammer.
Yeah, but maybe that makes it a slightly more subtle by having the female cut off the other female's hand, because maybe that's like their way of saying, well, you know.
Is it also her like stopping?
It's also a movie
her from
directed by a
having to
man,
go
by the
through
way.
it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
She's
the whole
also the one that
point.
like she drugged her the entire time to make this happen.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was for the greater good.
Exactly. So
What kind of a
she's, like,
story is that
protecting
even?
her.
But do you understand what I'm saying? That like she's harming another woman
right.
to remove her from harm against a man.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you feel like that's a counterproductive
No,
act?
because she thinks
seems
that is going to be
counterproductive,
less
yes.
harm than it would be if stayed there and kept going through that abuse because you see it.
Okay, I
This
understand
actually-
that.
It's
This actually
still
seems-
batshit fucking
this is-
crazy.
this is
You could just
also,
be like, hey, this dude's a rapist.
This is
Well,
also
yes,
a perfect
exactly.
way.
Instead
This
of
is
cutting your
also
arm off,
this,
but I
this is the
mean-
perfect way of Miramax basically going like, we don't really like what Harvey Weinstein did, but there's this woman
There
that's
wasn't
helping
anything that
another woman
stopped
do
anyone.
this. So
Yeah.
it's their way of like hedging their fucking bets. It's another way of corporate America doing something really shitty and then excusing it in an even shittier way.
Well, I mean, I feel like if you've ever watched the Oscars before, you know there's nothing that Hollywood loves than to blow itself, especially when it comes in terms of movies, right? So I feel like this movie basically just trying to comment on toxic masculinity, whatever. I feel like people just love it.
They also do it in a very good way, and it's a very
They do.
interesting way, and it's a very cool storyline, and it's very effective, I think.
I agree. I think it's very effective.
Extremely effective.
All-time best role for Steven Weber, by the way, I think might be.
Well, he was in The Shining, the TV
Again,
show.
all-time best role for Steven Weber because the
He was in
Shining
something
TV
else too.
series.
What was the other thing he was in?
Not great. I'll tell you in a second.
He was in some.
No, he was in.
Let's see. Wings.
He was in Wings. I thought he was
Once and
the same
again,
guy.
Stephen King's The Shining, the miniseries. iZombie, NCIS, New Orleans, NCIS, and Hamburger.
Oh, he was also. I
Oh,
forgot what he's.
nice.
No, you missed one of the best films he was in. He was Jonathan Harker in
Oh, yeah.
Dead and Loving
Dracula,
It,
Dead
which
and
that
Loving It.
movie's
There's
awesome.
something else he's too.
I
He's
only
very
read-
familiar face.
I only read his Wikipedia page, like one in it, so there's probably a few.
They're missing the gold.
Leaving Las Vegas, not Dracula, Dead and Loving It, Sour Grapes. Let's see.
I think it's a Larry David
What
movie.
else?
I think it is Sour Grapes.
Batman: Return of the Cape Crusaders. He plays Alfred. Alfred.
Really?
It's actually
That's
pretty
so
good cat. The Perfection. He's been in 4 movies. Not
He was always kind of like just like a background guy.
He's got a very familiar face. Yeah, you're looking like
good
I know this
character
guy.
actor for sure. I mean, one of those.
I mean, he
guys.
was very good in this role.
Have you ever seen Matt? I'm sure you probably have. Have you ever seen him play Jack Torrance in The Shining?
I did
miniseries?
see that many.
Not
good.
not great. Not great. Not great.
That whole thing was like a fart off a birthday cake.
Yeah,
It was-
yeah.
it was-
Big
yeah.
fuck you to Stanley Kubrick. Absolutely.
But not this.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Nope. That was
It
was his vision.
This is what happens
Yeah.
when you ride that one.
Yep. Okay. Who's next? Matt, Kat, Andrew. Anyone?
I think I just
Bueller.
stopped.
What am I talking?
Anyone?
The
Wanna
movie,
talk
The
about
Perfection. Yeah.
I like it.
Okay.
I mean, are we in spoiler? What am I talking about right now?
I mean, I feel like at this point,
General
yeah, we're in
thoughts?
spoiler. We've been talking about the movie for 15 minutes, so we're talking about
Okay,
spoilers. Yeah.
so I was gonna say a lot of I got a lot of vibes from him in this. The drugs, they're kind of like the way that it's shot when it's like it goes
Kinda like
back
breaks
and
the fourth
forward
wall
and
for a
yeah,
second,
and
yeah.
like she's like flipped upside down for a little
Drugs.
bit, and like drugs.
Oh,
how
you're
ultimately
thinking
they
of
cut
that
themselves
scene.
off.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like, oh, you know what? This is a lot like Requiem for a Dream.
You're thinking of the
Like
Yeah, this movie's
ass
fucked.
to ass.
Yeah,
movie's fucked.
at the very end when he
Yeah.
saws off his own. I mean, I had a lot of those vibes. I love Allison. She's also Marnie.
Yeah.
She's
You
also
watch
Get
Girls?
Out.
She's also
And
that bitch.
Megan.
I didn't know
bit.
you watch Girls.
She's
I
that
watched Girls
bitch
for
in
a little
Megan.
bit.
Yeah.
So, okay, while we're on Allison Williams, kind of a mini horror icon, a little bit.
Well,
I
Get
really
Out,
me out.
love
Megan.
her.
Hear me out.
Yeah.
Megan, Get Out, this movie.
Yeah. You don't even have to mention Megan.
3 pretty iconic roles,
Good
right?
enough.
I mean, I feel like just
Without
Get Out
Megan.
and this
Yeah.
alone. Those are pretty big roles in horror. I feel like
she's-
she's
She was
been
very, very
fantastic.
good in Get
Yeah.
Out.
She was
Yeah.
great.
That was the best role she's done.
The movie, the part in Get Out when she's eating like the cereal with and just drinking milk out of a straw, and she's just sitting there and like feigning all of her emotions, just straight. It's so chilling and terrifying. Yeah, it's a wild scene.
She's very good at gifts because she does that in this movie too. When she's manipulating what's her face.
The whole time
She's just like
the whole time.
That whole first act twist, like that threw me for a fucking movie.
Yeah, turned wild.
She's got all these bugs crawling out of her and shit. And at first I'm like, this is because you see this one dude like puke at like the
at the thing. Yeah.
And I'm like, is this like a fucking is this like an infection movie? Like, did I just totally like misread what I thought this was gonna be?
They say it started in Hunan.
Yeah,
it's happened.
Yeah, how about
2
that?
years before,
Movies made
and it's like a pandemic. I'm like, okay,
Yep.
that's
fucking
what's
wild.
happening.
Yep. And then and she said, "Oh, I just like all this stuff." But you think about the thing.
Well, it was like
That's insane.
when she's standing there and the bugs are crawling out of her arm, and then it like cuts back to her and she's like holding a hatchet. She's like, "You're gonna need this," and I was like, "Wait, what the fuck is going on?"
Right.
Not even a hatchet, a meat
Or a
cleaver.
meat, a butcher's cleaver. And I'm like, where the fuck did she get that? And then
then
I
it
was
goes
like,
back,
I was
and then
like, this
shows
is gonna,
that,
she's
oh
gonna
my
like wake up and
God.
it's gonna be a dream.
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
wasn't.
But then it turns out she had given her these like psycho fucking like
Yes,
It's a wild.
the drugs.
That whole scene with the
Gave her
bus when
mom,
she's
yeah.
shitting her brains out. I'm like, oh my god.
I know. I was like, dude, what the fuck is happening? And the whole dialogue,
your
they're
head
just like,
against
they're
the
each looking at each other.
window.
They're like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the
Yeah.
fuck? I was like, what? This is fucking insane.
going
Like, what is happening?
What is actually?
Yeah. It's just them saying what the fuck and puking and shitting
Everybody
for 10
else on the
minutes
bus,
straight.
except for the two English-speaking females, nobody gives a shit that everybody's they're sick in the back.
Well, then the dude's
Well,
like
they
throwing
want them
gasoline
off.
on the
Yeah,
fucking
I'm
bus.
like, that's a
Or
weird.
wait,
be water.
that
It
was
has to be
bleach.
water.
That was bleach.
must
That's
be
probably
bleach.
It's
bleach.
like, it's gonna be
Still
something.
flammable.
No, why? That's gotta be water. Why isn't that just water?
So I was like, what is it?
What
That's
does
water.
water do?
water's
What
not
does
gonna
Just
water
washes it away.
No,
Water
but
doesn't
that's
do-
no. You need to
Spreads it around.
You need
Water-
to ruin.
dude,
You need to kill.
You to
that.
kill the virus. That's bleach or gasoline.
Yeah, to kill it.
Absolutely.
Have you ever been involved in a pandemic? I would think
Yes.
you
Not
have.
on a public transportation bus with someone throwing out bugs. No.
But then after that, it goes into the whole thing, and you realize like what's actually going on. And then when you get into this guy who's been abusing these women, you're like, holy fuck! So it just really took a turn for me. The only downfall I have with this movie is like, dude, it is like a Netflix movie with fucking T. So it was kind of like it was a little cheesy.
It was very
That's what I was saying.
cheesy.
Like the dialogue is like bad.
I like
was
the cheese.
Like, damn.
I like
like,
There's a lot.
don't get me
of
wrong.
cheese
I
in
love
this
good
movie.
cheese, but
Yeah.
like
This is
it
easily
was
though.
like I was like, what the fuck?
This has to be the best Netflix horror movie.
It's got to be
It's
one.
probably
of
up there. Yeah.
Probably the only good one. Yeah, there's a
Like
lot
you,
of cheese on
you,
this movie.
you
in the
had to
rewatch.
have been blown by like where it went.
Oh, when it did finally, I was like,
Yeah, when
wow.
I first watched that movie, I was blown away. So that's
It wasn't
the
what
thing.
I expected.
Watching it a second time, having known what the twist is,
I figured
doesn't
she
hold
was
up
going to
as
be
well.
just like wiping out competition.
no.
And that's why, and then when it got to like where it did, I was like, whoa, like holy fuck.
See, I guess what I would say in its favor is that I did not love this movie, so I kind of forgot the ending a little bit. So rewatching it, I had an idea of what was going on, but the exact detail.
She's like all strung up on that.
Yes, and I forgot like how intense again. Fucked or wild? That's what intense. I forgot how intense all this stuff was.
Visceral.
Yeah, visceral, crazy, wild. It was just insane. Yeah, it was insane. Yeah.
I do like the
Wild, Mike.
the
It's
pieces that they play too, though. Like the music plays a big factor in this. I do
That
enjoy
song
it
that
a
they
lot.
do play at the beginning was
Very
that was
good,
creepy,
very
yeah.
good.
What
It's
did
like-
you think about the music devolving from classical music into rap?
Oh, at the
and
end, I
covers
kind of
at the
like
end?
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like
That was clearly an intentional move.
It makes
right?
sense,
Like,
yeah.
what'd you think of that? I thought that was
I
I thought
loved
that
it.
goddamn
really
I thought it
helped.
was awesome.
Yeah.
Especially so the last song that plays over the credits is a cover of Petals by Hole. He loves it, man.
What I do think is wild, though, is that she was smashing his head in with a fire pick from the fireplace, and then somehow his head had no bruises or scars on it, but he was missing
he's-
all his limbs
yeah.
at the end. I was like,
Wait
pretty
a
sure you
minute,
just
yeah.
bashed that guy's fucking face in,
He also stuck a knife through her entire
and she
arm.
was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and still had full
So,
function.
there's
she
plenty
had-
of-
No, it was one. That's
No,
why they were
no,
each
no.
playing
It was
with
one of
different
these.
hands.
Cat,
No.
he sliced
At
her
the
arm
end of the
like,
movie.
down
They're
the
each
middle.
playing with different hands.
Yeah, because she also didn't die from that. I feel like you would die
You
from
think
that.
you would die from
Like
that,
they always
yeah.
say, like
That's a main.
This
that's
is
an
You
for
realize we're
attention.
just proving the movie's
This
point right
is
now because
for
all we're doing is just
death.
talking over Kat, not even letting her speak her mind.
Yeah, she's the fucking.
Yeah, right.
She's the imperfection.
Sorry, Kat. You are the perfection. What else about the perfection? Anything else?
No, I really liked that movie in an end. Like it resonated with me on all these levels. Could relate to weird things, and I don't know. I thought it was great. I liked the corniness, and I liked the rap.
Yeah,
she's like,
it's cool.
and
I
this is
thought
like-
that was like the coolest part.
I thought that was great.
So, if I had to ask, so of the three main people in this movie, so Steven Weber, Allison Williams, and get the actress's name. I will look it up. Hold on one second.
The girl
She
that
was
plays
awesome, man.
Lizzie.
Her eyes.
Logan Browning.
That's Lizzie.
So
right?
Logan Browning, who plays Lizzie, Allison Williams, who plays Charlotte, or Steven Weber, who plays Anton. And also, shout out to Theus and Joffrey, those two boners. Fucking,
Why shout
those
out
two
to them?
losers, because they suck.
Why are we shouting out?
Yeah, why?
Shouting out how much they suck. is
Yeah,
what
I'm like,
saying.
why are we? I don't want to give them a shout out if they suck.
Shouting out how much they
Shout
stink.
out's a good thing.
Nope,
yeah.
shouting out how much they stink is what's
What about Paloma?
So, Paloma, actually, good role, too. Pretty good. Who do you think of the main three characters was the best acted? Catherine, I'll start with you.
I'm gonna go with Mark.
Who's that?
That's the girl, Allison.
Allison Williams.
Yes.
So, Charlotte Wilmore.
I know
okay?
her as Mark. She was really.
Another Nepo baby, by the way, Allison Williams. Andrew.
She was awesome.
Is
Yeah.
she? From who?
Brian Dagger. Go.
Yeah.
Allison Williams is, and also the other girl.
Okay.
What's her name
No,
again?
one. You have to pick one name.
You guys are insane. This is easily the best role of Steven Weber.
Yeah, I'm
1,000%.
Steven Weber.
Absolutely. Who plays Anton?
No.
Absolutely.
Anyone
He
can
plays
play
the
that.
most smarmy,
Yeah, but
disgusting
anybody can. There's plenty
slime
of-
ball.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that have played that role before.
He just looks like a
anyone-
slime
I'm
ball.
saying the best
Anyone
role
can
of
be like,
his
"What
career.
Those are bugs.
Yeah, dude, I'm not calling him like Marlon
That's
Brando
true,
or any of
too.
that shit, but dude, the best role of his career,
It's the
absolutely.
best. It's
yeah.
the best acting in the movie.
He is
Better than-
good.
yeah, better than,
I thought Nurse Paloma.
Allison Williams or Logan. I think.
Nurse Paloma. Where's your Nurse Paloma?
Do you know what I think of? I think of that.
Why are you
Would you
so...
excuse me a moment, Paloma?
The guy, the priest in Scary, which is a weird. This is a weird.
Now we're just devolving into
This is
Seinfeld.
going
We should
to
talk about this
fight.
movie.
Scary
We're
movie.
getting
the
fucked
priest,
up.
the priest from Scary Movie 3 somehow reminds me of Anton.
Scary Movie 3 or Scary Movie 2?
3 when they're playing Yahtzee.
yeah,
What does he?
yeah.
What does he say?
Yeah, Steven Weber
Tony,
is
Tony,
fucking...
or what,
Actually...
what's that kid's name?
I'll give
Yeah,
you that.
where-
I'll give you
Like,
that.
like,
No, you're right. I just
Cody,
didn't want to give that. I
yes.
didn't want to give that white man his accolades.
That's
Oh, okay.
uh,
Wow, racist.
Cody. Like that.
that's fuck, dude. He's in a bunch of fucking shit. I can't think. I like know his face, but he's
But that's what he reminded me of. Was
It's not
that
Paul
guy.
F. Tompkins. I don't know.
A weird way that reminded me of that guy. Like.
He's like opening a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like,
also,
absolutely.
By the
now that we're
passengers
talking
on
about
it.
this,
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
real quick, do we think that Charlotte poisoned the man that was
Yes.
cheating on
That's a
her?
great question.
Because he had the yellow vomit, and
Yes.
so did she. And I was like, it's not a pandemic.
She
like,
did.
it's
Has to
Must
be.
have.
Has
she
to be,
had to have been
correct?
the one who poisoned him. She probably didn't like what he was doing.
She
They had,
also,
they had the same symptoms. They're
Yeah.
both throwing up yellow shit.
but
right?
she also
Like, was
did
that part of her plan?
she
Like,
did
all
that-
along? That's an
Yes.
ingenious plan.
Well, yes, because it was part of her plan. Because she then said to Lizzie, "Oh, see about the guy. He must have came back from."
Yeah.
The plan was
To
perfection.
say,
Perfection.
She did perform the perfection. Perfectly.
You know what happens now
Yes.
if you don't perform the perfection.
God.
Guys, this movie came out. It was technically released in 2018, but came out, viewers, on Netflix 2019. So I'm counting this as a 2019 movie. You want to talk about some 2019 horror?
Surely.
Not much pickings, right?
I would say one of the stronger years in
it?
horror in the last
Okay.
few years.
I'm a
Hear me out,
fucking
okay?
idiot.
Tell me when to stop if you want to talk about a movie.
years.
3 from Hell. Okay. Annabelle Comes Home. A movie I like. Sorry. The Black Christmas remake. Pooh. Agreed. Brightburn, which was directed by
Pooh.
James Gunn.
didn't
It was
see that.
okay. It was okay.
Supposed to be a good year.
The Child's Play remake with
Pooh.
Mark Hamill.
What are you
As
just?
Chucky.
Can you name some
How
good ones?
good
Just
year?
name
We're
two.
getting there. We're getting there.
You're gonna go through what, like 100
It
movies?
too.
Like, what are you?
The Color Out of Space, starring Nicolas Cage. Great.
Decent.
I didn't like
Very
the
good.
movie.
Very good.
It's
Andrew,
not better than this movie.
Crawl.
Good.
It's
Good
a
movie.
solid movie. on par with this movie.
Here's a poo-poo movie, The Curse of La Llorona, which is a movie that takes place in the Conjuring franchise. Nope, no thanks. Daniel Isn't Real, a Shudder exclusive. Anyone seen that?
Nope.
Pretty good. Doctor Sleep.
Good.
Great,
Phenomenal.
fantastic
We like
movie.
that.
Matt, I know. Yep. Escape Room. Never seen it. That's a
even
movie
heard of
that you should watch.
Me?
No cat.
Is that-
Happy Death Day to you.
Love that movie.
Yep.
Solid.
Not
Not,
great.
not great. Not great.
Also, two back. I mean, is there a cat double feature if I've ever heard one in my entire life besides Happy Death Day to you and Haunt? Oh my God, that's a cat
I love
special.
that.
Yep,
Haunt?
I know.
I don't know what that
A
is.
cat favorite.
good. really
In the
good. You should watch
in the Tall Grass, Netflix exclusive. You guys see this?
Terrible.
Nah.
Not great. Hated it actually.
Wait,
Hated it.
can we do Haunt?
Sure can. A movie I loved. More people loved the first one. It Chapter 2. Great movie. Sorry.
Solid. It's fine.
It's all right.
Anyone ever seen I Trap the Devil? Great movie. Loved that one as well. Andrew, Killer Sofa. How are you? Killer Tofu.
It's terribly good.
Andrew, The Lighthouse.
Great movie.
Yep. We also got Ma, which was the
saw
movie
that.
starring
what's
Octavia
her face?
Spencer,
Yeah.
right?
That movie.
That
Did you
looks
guys see
awful.
that?
Never saw
No.
it.
It was kind. It
Did
was
you see
pretty.
it?
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it looked ridiculous.
Guys, we also got Midsommar,
Yeah,
2019.
I love
Yep.
that movie.
Nightmare Cinema, an anthology horror movie that I did not care
Yeah,
for.
that was
Pet Cemetery, the remake, which was also
very
awful.
poo.
A movie that was not awful and actually probably would vault to the top of my favorite horror movie this year. Ready or not?
Malignant out this year, or is that 2020?
Nope.
That's
Or
with
2021.
what's her?
That is with the guy who played the Matrix. Fuck, what's his name?
Yes. Wait.
Mr. Anderson.
Mr. Andrew. Oh, Hugo Weaving. Her name is Samara Weaving.
Oh yeah.
yes.
I have seen
Great
this. That movie
movie.
was good.
That was
Great
a really
movie.
good movie.
Let's see. In addition to that, we got Saint Maud.
I like the movie.
Good movie.
Yeah.
Yep. Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which I liked. One else had
liked.
varying opinions. Sweetheart, which is a Netflix exclusive. Good monster movie. Shudder exclusive called Tigers Are Not Afraid, which I still have not
Never seen that.
Never
I've
seen
never
it.
even heard.
Andrew, Us.
Yes.
Yep. Yes.
Our daughter does that.
Yeah. A movie that I fucking hated, by the way. Velvet Buzzsaw.
Oh, I love that movie.
Sucked.
It was good.
We also got a movie called Wounds, which was, I feel like, one of the last
Wounds.
movies that Armie Hammer was in before he got accused of eating people.
So,
It's a Hulu exclusive.
Something light.
Yep.
Little
And then
misdemeanor.
Finally, we have Zombieland Double Tap, which
love
was a
that
movie
movie.
that was
I like
not
that
great
movie.
not as great as the other.
But it was good. It was okay.
This finishes top five. Top five based off of that list.
My battery tells me that I have about 2 minutes left, so I think at this on that. Anyone else got anything they want to talk about in terms of the perfection, in terms of the movies from 2019? Anything else we want to talk about?
Thumbs Web. Wait.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, good stuff. I don't know whose pick is it next week. A film.
I think it is mine.
I think it might be.
I had
a
Possession. That was the last one.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Cat picking? Terrible movie.
We did Spring.
Yeah, Spring.
Oh,
Spring is
yes,
good.
Spring is
Spring is
We
fun.
did the
Okay.
draft, and then we did the
Yeah.
Mummy, and
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Matt's turn.
It is
And
Matt's
then
turn,
it's my
baby.
turn again. Oh, and then we can do
who fucking wants one, boys?
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for tuning in to another episode of America's Hometown Horror. My name is Mike. I have been happy to have been joined by my fellow co-hosts, Andrew, Kat, and Matt. Hey everyone, it's Mike from America's Hometown Horror, and just wanted to say thank you again for listening to another episode of our show, because of course, we would be nothing without you listeners. If you are interested in more local Plymouth podcasts, I would highly recommend you check out some shows by our cohorts on the Inebriart Podcast Network. That's right, the Inebriart Podcast Network, folks. In addition to America's Hometown Horror, you can find the Inebriart Podcast, Bar Talk, Theme Park Legends, Retro Redoctopus, and Old Colony Cast. Head on over and give them a listen.